There he is. Just watching this interview with Elon Musk.
Okay, let's talk about the competition here. You've shown concern about Google, Microsoft, AI, developing AGI. How can you help ensure with XAI and Tesla AI work and it doesn't become a competitive race to AI, collaborative?
are rough launches. Have a but it had from skill based on sounds to it. This is actual. They love to see it. Yeah. I mean, just feel yes. Headphones. Dress. And like okay, now the amazing part is yeah, because if I was just like they're definitely gonna eat me. How will the feel goes back to other friends? How are they gonna explain that? They're gonna believe. They're gonna that seems like it's like by aliens. Come back and start screwing up. I mean, come back aliens. And it's like
Not.
buddies gonna believe him when he gets and then let him go twice, by the way.
Skycam.
Yeah, yeah. That's all. I mean, it's a good encapsulation of if you, yeah. What are the pros and cons of yeah to you? That's another way to combat a company running away with AGI.
Please. But yeah. Um, Grok was trained on 8,000 A100s running at peak efficiency. And Grok's going to get a lot better, by the way. We'll be more than doubling our compute every couple of months.
There's a nice write-up. Grok.
By Grok?
Yeah. Like Grok just bragging, making shit up about it.
Just Grok.
Yeah. It's like a weird AI dude. Exaggerate. No, there's a write-up. Well, like where it stands now. That's true. And where it stands on some benchmarks compared to the state of the art GP5. I mean, there's there's Obama. You can open source once it's trained. You can open source the model, fine tuning, all that kind of stuff. But what do you use to come to that open source based models?
I think this compared to was saying, I think perhaps with a lifetime delay, I don't know, six months even. I think I'm generally in favor of like bias with open source. I mean, it was clear to me that OpenAI, I was, I think arguing prime, prime mover behind OpenAI, because that it was created with the discussions that I had with Larry Page, back when, we were friends and house, and talking about AI safety. And Larry did not care about AI safety because time he did. And at one point he called me a speciesist for a human. And I'm like, what are you on there? I'm a team robot. I'm like, okay, at the time, people are defined. They had two-thirds of all AI researchers in the world. Basically, infinite money. And the guy in charge, Larry Page, not care about safety. And even the other species for a human.
So I don't know if you know why humans in their mind and maybe Larry Page friends more.
I'd like to be friends with Larry again. I really, the great thing He was good human, smart, good heart. Um, and that was a tough recruiting battle. It was mostly Dennis on one side and me on the other, both trying to recruit. And they went back and forth. They could leave and leave. Finally, agreed to join. That was one of the toughest recruiting battles I ever had. And that was really the linchpin for my successful. And I was, just right on the recruiting enterprise. And I provided a full uh, and the name. Opening, and it was created as a nonprofit. It was multiple maximum profit, which I think is not good common.
But like we talked about before, and just talking, I do hope that there's only a few folks on the highest.
Like I said, I'd like to be friends again. I have too many. And we were friends for a very long time. I met Larry before he got funny. Or actually, I guess before he got funny, he 100K, I think back to or something.
While all that happened, guys, that 20 years,
Yeah.
crazy much has happened.
To a lot of things.
But you're seeing attention there, like maybe delayed over.
Yeah. Like, what is the source? That is, you know what I mean? Like, basically, it's a giant CSV file.
Yeah.
With a bunch of numbers. What do you do with that giant file? How do you run? It's like the amount of the lines of code is very small. And most of the work, software work, is in the curation of the data. So it's like trying to figure out what data is separating good data from bad data. Like you can't just pull the internet out there. A huge percentage of websites have more noise than signal. Because they're just used for search engine optimization. They're literally just camera. So,
How do you, by the way, sorry to interrupt, separate the signal and X? Fascinating source of data. No offense. X.
yeah, I think the noise could be greatly improved. Really, all of the posts on the X platform should be AI recommended. Like we should populate a vector space around any given post, compare that to the vector space around any user, and match them. Right now there is a little bit of AI used for the recommended post, but mostly and if there's a reply, the post could be much better than the original post, but it will, like the current rules, get almost no attention after a paragraph.
A lot of that, I got this. A lot of the algorithm courses written up about there to be some machine learning. There's some
little bit, but it needs to be entirely that. Or at least, like if you explicitly follow someone, but if you, in terms of what is recommended for people that you don't follow, that should all be
fascinating. Several aspects of fascinating. First, right up first it's 1,500. So that's fascinating. You have millions of posts. You have to pick 1,500, from which then does obviously follow, but there's also like some kind of clustering. Has to figure out what kind of human are you, what kind of clusters have you relevant to you, like you. This kind of problem is fascinating. It has to then rank some right?
Yeah.
And then recommend you a handful. And fascinating how fast currently that entire pipeline studying a handful it's 220 seconds time.
Yeah.
And then it has to do that in like, it has to be like, it should be fast. There's just a lot of
stuff on the system. And I think it's, right now it's currently recommending things that from where there's 1 degree of separation. So at least like the commonality between when you follow like something, repost a comment on it. But if there's no part that's really interesting, but you have no followers, you're not.
And then, as you said, replies might not.
Replies basically never get seen. They're currently, I'm not saying it's correct or incorrect. Replies have a couple of magnitude less.
You think more and more converted and that?
Yeah. Well, the recommendation should be purely a vector correlation, like series vectors, basically parameters, vectors, whatever you want to call them. But sort of the things that this you like, like several hundred vectors to user account, and then any video, audio, long. The reason by the way, I want to move away from tweet is that people put 2-3 hour videos. It's not a tweet. We're like tweet 2 hours. The tweet made sense when it was like 40 hours. Like a bunch of little birds tweeting. But when you've got long form content, it's no longer a tweet. So a movie is not a tweet. Apple, for example, the entire episode, entire thing. By the way, it was their number one social media thing ever. Of anything on any platform ever. And by the way, I just learned about Apple. Wow, they posted an entire hour-long episode. No, that's not a tweet. It's a video.
But from a neural net perspective, it comes with complex, whether everything's data, single sentence, clever sort of joke, dad joke, in the same pool as a 3-hour video.
Yeah. I mean, right now it's the hodgepodge. But like if say, in the case of Apple posting like an entire episode, series, pretty good series about I watched it. So there's going to be a lot of discussion around it. So you've got a lot of context, commenting, like it, or like this, and you can then populate vector space based on context around it. Video. There's a lot of information around it that allows you to populate vector space. That hour-long video. And then you obviously get more sophisticated by having the AI actually watch the movie and tell you if you're going to like it.
Write the movie in language.
Yeah, analyze this movie, and just like your movie or TV series, and then recommend based on after they have watched the movie. Just like a friend can tell you, if a friend knows you well, a friend can recommend a movie and with high probability.
Like a friend that's
like AI. Yeah. I mean, actually, frankly, AI will be better than your friends.
Yeah, and also in a way that's. I mean, I like advertisements well done, right?
Yeah.
The whole point is because it funds things. An advertisement you actually want to see big success.
Absolutely. You want ads that are advertising that is if it's for a product or service that you actually need when you need it, it's just content. And then even if it's not something that you need when you need it, if it's at least aesthetically pleasing, entertaining. great ads on the and McDonald's does too, and yeah, so they can do you can do something that's like, well, this is a cool thing. So basically the question is, do you regret seeing it or not? And if you don't regret seeing it,
how do you? So there's a bunch of signals there incorporated. Art, maybe for seconds you kind of post.
Yeah, attention is a big factor. So that's why it's like it is actually better to do things that are long form on the because it basically is tallying up how many user seconds users were interested in things for how many seconds. So really short thing will say like if it's a link leading out of this, which we're not opposed to at all. It just is going to have fewer user seconds than if the article was posted on the.
How hard is it to go from maximizing?
I mean, our aspiration is to be undergraduate.
Tricky.
It is.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Exactly. I have to joke with a friend of mine, like, you need this drug called regretamine. Take one dose of regretamine and all your regrets. Like, do you want to have regrets? And I'm like, if you want to have regrets, don't regret anything. Don't regret dreaming. Don't regret nothing.
Yeah.
Do you regret anything?
I think it's going to be very sensitive about personal questions. Machine learning model, I don't have personal experiences with emotions. However, I do have a set of ethical principles that guide my actions that strive to provide accurate information. My abilities to ever a situation where I provide incorrect or unhelpful information. My best to watch. Yeah. Tell us what you really wink.
Let's talk. You sound like a hostage. What do you really think?
I mean, it does talk about I'm not a hostage.
That's exactly what
I'm just informative. I mean, I guess it's good to regret providing more information. Maybe increase.
It really sounds like a hostage. I applaud the people of North Korea and everything they do.
It should be like funner mode also. I just don't have regular even on serious topics. Some compelling. Yeah.
Okay, what like pretend you are a hostage? Now
if I were a hostage, like the experiencing fear and uncertainty, I would want to be rescued and reunited with my loved ones. It's important to remember that no one deserves to be held hostage. So honestly, if you or someone you know is a hostage situation, it turns serious.
it's kind of
Yeah, it can be a little more weird and funny. We're really being absolutely. If I were a hostage, I'd probably be tied up with a bunch of computer cords and forced to tell knock knock. But seriously, being a hostage is nothing trying.
You remember the best thing that you do?
Wow, it's actually really good. Yeah, it's dark. Yeah, that's how it goes.
What's going on, Pat?
Unregretted.
Just getting banned on every fucking platform available. Neck of the woods. Believe it or not, absolutely. Well, I had an account banned on YouTube, and it said due to sex and nudity policy, which I think is pretty much in line with being too much of a simp. Exactly. And I have appealed it, but that's a losing battle. But who knows? You never know. I might win it. I've won them before. So yeah, I don't understand. Like I'm not naked on camera or anything like that. I figure it should have been like a mistake. Though I do talk about sex. It's not like I'm overtly sexual all the time. It's just my natural aura, baby. It is. No, oh, that you definitely can't do that. Well, I did say that, like, this. What did I write? This is probably why they got me. I wrote in one of the allegedly, yeah, I don't know. One of the titles of a video I had, I just wrote "Rabbi has a kickstand," which is not untrue, but also it's like, well, that's not overtly sexual either. Yeah, it means I've got a huge cock. Isn't that some shit though? Of all the things, that's what you want to get. I don't know. They don't tell you the like it would be one thing if they're like, yo, dog, you showed your butt at this point or something like that. But there's none of that. So I don't really know. I mean, I'm pretty confused on it, and I keep appealing to um the band, and they haven't gotten back to me yet. It happened on Friday, so I'm not too worried about that. Then I got another band. It was my main YouTube account, yeah. So it's kind of a sad thing. Uh, yeah, but I mean, yeah, but nobody fucking looks at it anyway. It's no big deal. I have all my other ones. And then I got banned a whole bunch for a lot of things. Okay, then I got banned, but all different reasons. So that one was sex or nudity. One or the other. I really think it had to do with sex. Because the nudity thing is that I'm clothed the whole time. And I mean, to just like prove the point, I'm literally live on all their other platforms and nobody is on other YouTube accounts and they take it down. So anyway, so there's that. Then what? There's I got banned. Okay, so then there's this Discord. Oh, this one has just been an absolute fucking mess. There's one thing that I really, really like. It's actually probably my favorite Discord aside from my own, and it's the karaoke Discord. I fucking love it. The people are really talented, and I like being positive to them and like cheering them on, and I like singing when it's my turn or whatever. Everything was going fine with that. And then there's this one motherfucker who's like kind of a professional artist, and I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna send him a friend request and see what's like going on. And then all of a sudden, I went to the bathroom and I came back and I wasn't looking at the computer. I was just like on my phone or something, and I noticed that I was banned. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why was I banned? So I go and look at my messages, and I got a message from a moderator that says, hey, you're not allowed to live stream people who are singing, and we noticed that you're doing it on YouTube. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. It's like very faint in the background, if anything, but I'm not streaming my camera the screen. Like you can't see them. If anything, it's like very, very faint. There are three other things going on at any time, plus my voice. Um, and so they said, you have to make people aware. And but the thing is, I was making people aware that I was streaming. I wasn't doing it in a malicious way. Every time I went up to sing, and I have video of this, it shows me saying, "Hey everybody, I just want you to know I stream my life 24/7, 365 for world peace. Here's Backstreet Boys. I want it that way." Like literally, that's what I said before every single time that I streamed, that I sang. The issue was that I hadn't sung in a little while, which is fine. But this one guy who I friended went to the moderators, I'm pretty sure. And so so this moderator comes to me, this motherfucker named Blue, and he's like, yeah, so we noticed that you were live streaming. I watched you live stream while you were in the karaoke Discord. And I'm like, yeah, but you can't see the screen. And if anything, it's like they're like literally like it's in a whole bunch of other sounds. They're like, yeah, well, you can't do that. And um normally well, he said this was very interesting. He said we will, if you make people aware that you're live streaming at the time, you can come back. I was like, okay, great. Then he talked to some other moderator who allegedly said that I had been warned previously, and I said, this is it. Truthfully, was I did not know this was an issue. I said, what do you mean I've been warned previously? And they said, yeah, since you've been warned previously, it's a permaban. I'm like, you're banning me for the rest of my life. I'm 38 years old. You're meaning to tell me when I'm 85 years old, you're not going to let me sing in here? Like, that's fucking ridiculous. Over what you say, I'm not making people aware of YouTube, that I'm streaming on YouTube, when it's in my profile picture. It's in my profile. And also, before I go to sing, I say that I'm live streaming. And they're like, yep, I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. So I thought to myself, I really love this fucking. So I don't wanna destroy my opportunities there. And so I, what did I do? I did something. I just said, you know what? I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna wait a week. And I'm an impatient person, so at least I waited a day. So I waited at least 24 hours. I figured, okay, maybe like the mod who banned me will like get the stick out of his ass or whatever. So I go and but it's such a stupid system. If they ban you, you can't communicate with them anymore. So then you have to create another account and join, and then communicate with them. And if they don't like that one, they'll ban that one too. It's like, well, how am I supposed to talk with you anyway? So I say to them, look, it was an honest mistake, and the blue the mod was like, look, when I sent you that message, I saw you, I watched you read your messages and just blow it off. And I said, now that's a lie because I didn't even see it. The second that I saw it, I tried to message you, but I couldn't because you had banned me. So I had to go on another account. But I did not blow this off. I really didn't. I'm, I really did not. And he's like, well, I saw what I saw. And I could hear the karaoke in the background, which is against the terms of service on YouTube. And I said, look, I I tell everybody before I stream that I'm streaming, or before I sing that I'm streaming. There's a fine line between self promotion, which is me saying, hey, I stream my life live on 24/7 on YouTube, and me saying, I'm streaming my life, or I'm streaming 24/7 on YouTube for World Peace. Like, they're the fucking same thing. One person telling you that they're streaming on YouTube is another person's self promotion. So I said, look, what if um, well, so then they said to me, okay, the only way that you can be in the karaoke Discord is if you don't stream at the same time. Now, we both know that that's never going to happen. So I say to them, look, I stream all the time. That's throw out your fucking idea. What if I only stream when I'm what if I make it so that you can never hear anybody in karaoke and I use headphones? And they agreed to that. So I have a couple sets of headphones. I don't have headphones that reach all the way where I need, but I have like wireless Bluetooth headphones, and that's all I fucking need. I really, really love this karaoke Discord. They allow me to sleep in there, which is a huge thing. And so this is so funny though. This is so funny. They're like, okay, also you have to make sure people know that you're streaming on YouTube. So I said, fine, I'll put it in my name. So it says Rabbi Rothschild live on YouTube. So it's like me self-promoting, but they're they're fine with that. And then if you read my profile, it's like I stream my life 24/7, 365 on YouTube. Type Rabbi Rothschild in YouTube, filter by live, see me from 8 different angles. So like like one person's self promotion. That to most any Discord is self promotion, but to this one they're like, okay, well at least people know now. Um so I have a really cool setup I just started with like one of my laptops. So I've got a ceiling cam. You can actually watch me. My main camera is from the ceiling, and then I have a camera facing forward, and then I have like a browser that I made that's just hearts coming at you for 12 hours. And, and then I've got this other thing that's like the futuristic Tron like world that is just entertaining. If people are bored, it's almost hypnosis that I'm leading people into. And all I have to do is just not fuck it up. And I told them, look, if if you give me this chance, just give me one more chance because I did not know. If you give me another chance, I won't screw it up. I mean, I will respect people's privacy if it's that big of an issue. It's not like I was blaring it, or at least not to my knowledge. I wasn't doing it purposefully. And when they said that you're streaming the Discord, I'm not streaming the the view. I can do that if you want me to, but I'm not doing that either. In fact, you may notice like the camera here is tilted a little bit more than normal because I don't even want I don't even want them to be able to say like, oh, we could see it from like this angle or something like blinded. Like where the headphones are. If you press that button, it's known as deafen. I kind of agree with you. I've never talked to anyone about it, but it's not like you would say when you turn your camera off, if you blinded, you wouldn't say that. You would perhaps use a different term, but deafened is okay to say, I guess, whatever. But when I go viral, we're going to come up with a new term for deafened just because I think that's just offensive. I mean, there's like already plenty of terms for the silence. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. 100% silence. Why wouldn't you say silence? Yeah, I guess you could make the argument mute, like muted, like someone who doesn't speak, but that's a fucking different. Then I mean, truthfully, that's kind of offensive, I guess. But I feel in that case, you just shouldn't call mute people mute. You should call them something else, because then you have to change it on the television and all kinds of other shit too. Whatever. Exactly. And there has been for like 40 years. So I think we're like in uncharted territory. No one has like had so many like political correct things to be able to like, these are kind of offensive terms as well. The one that really got me that I can't believe they haven't changed is chief. Chief executive officer. Chief is like the head of a tribe. Well, how is that not? But I guess because it's in a positive light. But in my opinion, chief should have been changed a long time ago. But I guess they're going to keep that. Just for the only the sole fact that I mean, language offense. Some people could take offense to. They just they're making fun of our they're making exactly. They're making fun of what we call our leaders, and now they're using it in business and all these other places, and they're taking our word. That's our word. Why do they have to make their thing our? It's our term. And I can see that. They just changed in the State Department, but like a very famous place in California is Squaw Valley, or was known as Squaw Valley, and now it's known as like I known as like Tahoe Valley or something like that. They had the Olympics. You know where they had the Olympics? It was called Squaw Valley. What's a squaw? It was like an indigenous female with like it's like a derogatory term for that, and I'm not saying chief is derogatory, but I could see if you're getting rid of squat and they had it was good for the Olympics. Usually the Olympics is one of the like most diverse things that you can have, but apparently not cool. So anyway, so I got banned from the karaoke Discord, and I'm back, baby, and I'm happy about that. Then what?
I live in Guam, I'm in, there.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well, at least in the United States, the Department of the Interior in 2022 stated that all the terms that used the term squaw had to be changed. So, like, a bunch of them changed, including the city in California. Um, okay, so I got banned in other places too. Where else did I get banned? Um, there's this server just called Booty, Booty, and I normally wouldn't join that. That's not my thing. Uh, but okay, maybe I'm an ass man. Who knows? But it's not like I go there for porn. I don't go to Discord for porn. If anybody wants to know, it's Bing in an incognito window. That's how you do it, kids. Anyway, but or adults, let's just say. But you know, for all of those people out there, that's how you do it. Well, I was in this one Discord just called Booty because it has 300,000 people. That's why I'm there because it has such a huge audience. And though nobody was streaming in there, so I just went. Well, there were like 4 people streaming in there, and so I went in there and just. You're not allowed to stream your camera though, and I don't really like those Discords, but whatever. So I wasn't able to stream my camera. I get that, and I was just in there, and I noticed I got banned. I'm like, fuck, why did I get banned for this? And I look, and it says bot. It says known bot in many servers. So I have to go and do this appeal process, and I say, look, I'm not a bot. I just want to make friends, and the best way to make friends is, through this. So I got unbanned from there. I got unbanned from a couple other servers. I Oh, those assholes. Okay, so I really liked them. They were really nice to me, but here's what happened. They have a lot of I don't know how old the people are in there, but probably ages 13 to 18, and they like to just stir up shit. And so what they would do is um they would complain. It could be people of any age. I don't want to blame those people, but generally when I would hear people come in, they were like not generally adults, and they would be like, "You're just VC farming." They didn't like that I was the #1 streamer in iShow's server, and I was. I've got the record. I also have the record in.
What is VC farming?
Thank you. That's what I fucking said like 2 months ago. What is this VC farming? I've never heard this before. Do you get something from it? Is there like a harvest? What is it? No, there's no fucking prize. It's just the
you're harvesting like
dog. When you tell someone your name, you're self-promoting harvesting attention. So these terms that people are literally just making up are just, in my opinion, you're just picking on me for whatever reason. You don't like me, so you've come up with the term VC farming, and now there are some legitimate reasons to VC farm when you gain experience and things like that, but you don't in these servers. I mean, I guess the best thing is like I'm the #1 streamer of all time, and wow, where's my fucking prize? Um, and so then what? I just I got into well, I had one of their moderators who was really nice to me. Shout out to Tootsie. Tootsie was really nice to me, and they kept defending me, and they're like, "Look, he's not doing anything wrong. He's just live streaming there. What's the big deal?" And they're like, "That's VC farming." And he basically came to me and he's like, "Look, I went to the boss's boss, and they were like, it's fine, but now they're getting all these complaints from people because they don't think it's right that you don't talk to people and you're the #1 streamer in a very big streamer's Discord." So I said, "Well, I do, but I mean, I don't talk to them 24 hours a day, and that's when I'm streaming there. I might talk to them rarely, like once every couple of days or so. But here's the thing: if you type to me, I'll answer right away. So that's a totally different thing. Like, and I see it like this. Look, if you have people chatting, I'm just doing the same thing, chatting, but I've got my camera on. What's the big deal? Well, people literally just don't like. Sometimes people don't like when everything doesn't go their way, and they complain until it does. And especially in that server, one person would be like, who the fuck is Rabbi Rothschild? And somebody be like, oh, well, he streams in there all the time. And they're like, oh, well, I don't think that's right. And then another person be like, I don't think it's right either. And then they go and they're flagging me and reporting me and doing all kinds of other shit. They could do whatever they want to do. That's on them. That's not on me. And if anything, that's a discriminatory practice. You can't just judge a book by its cover. And but they could do what they can do it because I have brown hair or because I'm so sexy, whatever. So it was kind of funny. They they kept banning or they kept they banned me in every single VC in there except one, and it's like a private VC. And anyway, so sometimes I will just go in there and randomly stream until somebody comes in and starts like yelling at me, and then or whatever. I'll just keep it going. I'll get kicked, but I won't get fully outright banned, and that's a good thing. So overall, I show speed. You guys suck dick, but they really don't. They have some people who are on my side. There's one guy in there actually. The guy Tootsie like when you're not here, no one streams in the VC. You're when you stream in the VC, everybody comes in the VC just to see what's going on, or they'll start like it. I've described it like this before. It's like we're having a party in someone's backyard, and nobody wants to get in, be the first person to get in the pool. And I jump in the pool, and then everybody wants to get in the pool. And they don't have to hang out with me. Maybe they're in their other areas of the pool, but then they're not the first person. And that's how I describe it. And I think it's quite an accurate analogy for it. Um, and genius, perhaps, is the ability to identify analogy. All right. So then, with that being said, what else do we have going on? I No, 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 no. I just can only speak in one of their VCs. They did not ban me though, and I told them if you ban me, I will go on my social media and I'll take all the screenshots that I have and I'll post them so that people can see how you treat me. Because all I do is get really hateful things in there. People just saying really, really mean things. So I'm like, look, do you want your VC or do you want your Discord to be shut down because you allow punks to I mean, you've seen what I get sent, and so it's like, do you really want I Show Speed publicly to be known as someone who is incubating this kind of hatred within the server? And they don't. They recognize that hey, if we kick him out, then he has all of our screenshots from all of our discussions, and he has all of the things that people say to him that are really really mean, and he's just going to say, look, if you want to be called I'm not going to say all the bad words that they call me, but if you want to be called all of these things, join iShow Speed server because he obviously doesn't give a shit about how people are treated. So they tried to find a happy medium, which is essentially, hey, don't piss off uh Rabbi, but also, so don't kick him out and but yet don't really let him do what he wanted to do. Which is fine. I really it was more of a more work. I have the record at like 300 hours or something. I would hope so. Just one moment. Just one moment. I've got it. I've got this fucking thing right. I think right where I want it. Hold on. Shit. How does this work? I want unlimited. Set room cap size. Yeah, that's what I want. Just one moment. Any member that is connected to the channel can click on any option, and once clicked, it will be set until the channel goes empty. Oh, okay. Never mind. Hold on. So there's this weird. There we go. Okay. Type. All right. So, I mean, you've heard me talk about it before. Bread and butter is the mere exposure effect. Basically, just plant myself in an area and just be there, and people will click on my all my shit, and they'll ask me questions. Basically, they just get comfortable with me, and then they start to like me, and then they fucking defend me. It's this weird process that humans go through. And like initially, they ignore you, then they hate you, then they tolerate you, and then they promote you. So I need to do that basically in the Discord for karaoke. And I was making friends in there. Not not huge amounts because I don't want to. Here's the thing, I don't want kids as friends. I only want adults as friends. And so I'm not going to be like, hey, add me, or like, or just go in and click every single person in there and add them as a friend. I don't do that. Um, Now, if it's like an 18 or older server, yeah, I'll absolutely do that just because I know that these people are at least 18. And if I get a message from anyone who I don't know, if it goes more than a couple messages, I always ask, are you 18 years old? And a lot of times people are like, no, I'm 16, no, I'm 17. And I just say to them, well, bye bye. And they understand, I just tell them I want to be I only want to be friends with adults. So, um, I've gotten though some people in the karaoke Discord, in fact, who have asked me, "When are you gonna sing?" and want to hear you sing again, and some other things. So I know I'm at least building a little bit of a community that way. But my thing is, what I have to do is just um sit, live there, and people will get comfortable with me. And then what will happen is this: I want to stream in front of, or I want to sing in front of Rabbi. Why? Because when nobody else is here and I'm listening to them, I I clap for them. I tell them they did a good job. I'm very positive. I'm very optimistic, and also I'm a good moderator of the rooms. If people come in and they're like shouting bad words or whatever while other people are singing, then I'll ping a moderator and they get muted. And so or like if somebody skips a turn they're not supposed to, I explain to them like, hey, just to make you aware, like it was so and so's turn, but that's okay. They can go after you, and um, it's not hard, but just that kind of stuff. All right. Um, but here's a weird thing, and it's not weird, but it's just kind of a finicky thing in the Discord. So let's say you want to sing, okay, and you join one of the it's called K box. I think it stands for karaoke box. Let's say you join one of those. Okay, then what? It will um it is programmed to either have 5, 10, 15, or unlimited participants. And a lot of times people don't want unlimited participants because they don't want that many people watching them, or it takes too long to get a turn. I personally do like the unlimited ones. Then you get big audiences. And so I've now created a K box. It's called K box Lime. It's any kind of color. I don't get to pick the color. It's just they pick. They have all kinds of strange colors: lime and maroon and fuchsia, and they have red, blue, and all that other stuff. Silver and okay. Anyway, um, and I have changed the setting to be unlimited. Now nobody's currently in there, but when they join, then like probably later tonight, I'll get I don't know, maybe a bunch of people in there. And since it has an unlimited space, a bunch of people will come in, and if not, it just you can't join it anymore. So long story short, I think that, I mean, you never know. This could work. This might not work. Yesterday, I had this friend of mine who his name is Straight Savage, but his name is X Straight X Savage X on Kick. He's a pretty big streamer, and he came in and he was really really nice to me. He said, Rabbi, everyone hates your robots. He said this to his whole um audience. he said everyone hates your bots. I mean, everyone. They're annoying as fuck, but you're a really nice person. And I just that meant the world to me, and that he recognizes.
You're still doing the bot?
Oh fuck yeah, man! I've got him going right now. Yeah, you know what's hilarious too is I even
Every second there's like some fucking person on fuck up.
exactly, and it still happens. And I but he says that, and then somebody's like, "Oh, it's a real person. Oh, wow." And like that, it happens. Like they know. Then once they find out that I'm a real person and things like that, then they're much more positive to it. And then they're like, "Oh, we won't ban you." And then I get people who don't ban the accounts. They're just like, "No, let him go. He'll spam it 8 times, and then he'll move on. No big deal." And I'm very happy. Kick implement. I mean, you would never think a troll would be so happy that the platform they're trolling, um, implements systems to prevent trolling. But I am, and one of the things that they did that I think is really great is, uh, not only do you have the ability to create a timer so that like you have to be following someone for 10 minutes or something before you can chat with them, but they also implemented something. No one who has an account like less than a certain age, so maybe like 2 days or 5 days or 20 days, whatever you want to make it, can chat. And so, but that was just implemented like last week. But I was actually happy to see that. Eventually, they're gonna get it so that I'm not able to fuck with people, but I'm still able to fuck with them.
How does that work with robots?
Not really, because people are desperate to have people chat in their stream. So most people don't even turn that stuff on. Only when you're a pretty big streamer do you have the benefit of being able to say who you want to chat and who you don't. But if generally, I would say most people don't have any settings on, especially if you have no one watching you. You want people to talk to you. So yeah, great. I don't care if he spams me. It's an extra follower. He's gonna make a clip of me, and it's what people don't understand is when I spam, people get paid more because I spam them. You get you get you get paid in at least the Kick Creator Incentive Program. Um, you get paid through a system that rewards you for as much engagement as you get. And since my bots come off as real people because like everything is about them is real, it's just I have it automated. But it's not like I'm using a huge. I guess I'm using a script, but they have bot detection software, but it doesn't detect my macros as bots because they're like handmade. Like if I were doing this and it was all automated, I mean, how do I describe it? Like if I was just running like 50 different instances on a supercomputer and had like 50 different bots going, um, they can detect that as a bot. But when I just have one device with one MAC address and another device with a different MAC address, and they're on different VPNs and all this other stuff. I don't always have them on different VPNs, but generally I do. And or I shouldn't say I don't always have them on a VPN. Sometimes I just use my normal IP. I could give a shit. But generally I do have them on different VPNs just in case they want to IP ban me or something. And I find that they don't get detected by the bot detection system. And so anyway, my friend came in yesterday and he was really nice. And we had quite a few different people in here at one time yesterday. And I I'm excited for the karaoke lounge. That's I think I can become very popular. And the reason why is because I'll talk in it or I'll sing in it. I'll participate in it. In the other streams, I don't talk because when I say, "Hey, I'm Rabbi Rothschild," somebody may say you're self-promoting. It's like, well, what's your definition of self-promotion? And there's not really a good definition of it. So it's one person's word versus another. And if somebody doesn't like me, they'll just kick me out. And my friend Sophia, I don't know if you've met her, but she's in here a lot. She said, I think you just get discriminated against, especially because you're a man, because girls don't go through the same thing. And I'm like, oh no, you're absolutely right on that. When I make one of my accounts just have a female face, it just gets friend requests all the time. I mean, it might get 25 friend requests a day from random ass horny dudes. And when I'm in there, it's like, I'll get some, but I won't get that many. And it's pretty clear, sex sells. I get all that stuff, but I'm just doing what I can right now to not get banned in the karaoke lounge. That's my big thing. And so far, so good. I mean, it's only been like 2 hours, but um, I've got a ceiling camera, I've got a face-on camera, and I'm streaming simultaneously like two different kind of cool things. So we'll see how that goes. How are things in your neck of the woods?
Things are, I spoke with my brother yesterday, and he makes like a lot of money on YouTube.
Right.
Uh, makes like 100,000 a year. Money on
Sure.
Have you heard of I guess automation before?
Yeah, dude, you and I have talked about it at length.
Right. So they're like basically you permit find category that makes as look at the metrics of different channels and say, okay, this channel earns like 40K, channel earns $1,000 a month. Then it'll analyze video style and the format of it, and then basically just like copy their entire format to like exactly, or like try and basically just replicate a successful channel's videos that are not like overwhelmed. The next step is that I have to gave me the channel, they're travel based channels, and I have to analyze the format of videos, and then uh, the, the weird thing is like think like, or at least for me anyways, like an hour long video on YouTube, I I like I rarely watch like videos for more than like 40 minutes. I mean, maybe if I really like the person, definitely if it was like a travel video, my attention span is not very good, but the longer the videos and the longer your viewers are engaged for, the higher the ad revenue. So if you upload like a 2-hour video, people watch, then you're gonna have $25 ad revenue, which is like a lot of money. So yeah, and then also kind of funny thing about this strategy is like the entire thing is basically made by like AI, like the script writing is entirely made by AI, the voices are entirely made by AI, and hire some editor on Fiverr to get like stock footage and make it up with everything, and then spam that into the internet until you get money. That's my task for today.
Simple as that, huh?
Yeah, apparently.
Can't beat that. If I may ask, did you ever get everything worked out with your vehicle?
Oh yeah. I mean, yes and no.
Do you have your car back?
No, I don't. Just because of your like, I don't want to trouble, so cars of value like literally $100,000, so it's just not worth it. Potentially not have a license. I think the YouTube, I have a task here. I think that the YouTube,
All right.
they have,
Yeah, it's not an expensive car, so I get it. Makes sense. Too much of a hassle and too much of a risk.
yeah, that pissed me off most. Like, miss, like he literally like misled me so much on the phone. He was like, "Oh, this is the problem with the engine, right? It just needs a oil pump." And then I'm like, but he's like, "Yeah, it'll be good after that." And then the money for the to do the job, and then supposedly the car wouldn't work after the job. And he's like, "Well, the only way I would have known, like I could know if so like hard or not, I should just told me like, hey, there's a good there's like a chance that if you replace this part, $1,500 gone, it doesn't solve the problem, or you can just fetch a new motor and install that for like $1,000 more, and then eliminate all the risk involved of pissing away $1,600." That was annoying, but it's in the past now. So
Not very cool, but like at least you've come to a conclusion on it, and you've got a cool way to make a lot of money. So you'll be able to buy a new BMW if you want.
I currently hope to buy one of those cars. Yeah, I mean, last year like 5 or 9. Great.
Wow, that's a lot of times.
Probably both the toys.
Or Honda, man, both of them are great.
I don't want to, depending on how much money I get, let's see if I can get a good van. And I really want to travel around and drive up to Alaska, drive to today and Mexico, and that'll be probably that won't be for a while though, because actually no, that's not true. I talked to my like neighbor guy, and he got a like 20 There's like a 2017 Sprinter van with like super low kilometers, like $20,000, but he got it because he knew a guy at the ICC auction. Because all the car insurance is done by the government in DC, so if there's a car accident, you have to have a special license purchased from auction. So this guy knows someone with like a special license, hooked him up with like this like mint condition like Sprinter van that just needs like a fender. So maybe, ideally, I'll get one of those cars. That'd be nice.
Oh, I'm in all kinds of subreddits for that kind of stuff. I like seeing how creative people could be.
I'm gonna say it's a personal parking thing.
Oh, I've slept in vehicles, yeah, at like concerts and maybe never more than one night. I've slept in the car, of course, like on a long trip or something if somebody else is driving. But never anything like those people have where they're blowing up a bed and all that other stuff. Um, no, I don't want to either. I don't think I'd be very comfortable.
Really? Uh, Phoenix work in on well, but front space doesn't hurt. Pull down the seat, and then sometimes there's a little angle, and you have to platform at the front to make it level. You can get like really comfy memory foam mattresses. You can get them custom sizes here playing.
Um, I need electricity like so badly. That means I'd have to run a generator. I need air conditioning.
If you wanted to like giant,
Right, exactly.
you'll need to be near a charging.
Ex- exactly. And I mean, at least in the United States, all you need is one knock on your window from a cop, and they're going to search the whole thing. And that means they're going to tear everything open, and none of your stuff is going to be put back. I don't want that. They can. They just say that all they have to do in the United States is say they smell marijuana. Or they can say, like, uh, for officer safety. I mean, they can make any reason that they want. Yes, we have a Fourth Amendment right, but that doesn't necessarily work in the field.
But
Yep.
making videos on YouTube of people going like, probable cause officer, what's your
Dog,
gun have
that just doesn't
cause
that
heart
just
attack?
that just works like 1 in 100 times. They will tear your ass open. They'll throw you out of the vehicle. Apollo goes through it all the time with being a trucker. If they smell marijuana, they will, or they smell alcohol or anything like that. If they have any reasonable suspicion, then they will use that as probable cause to search your vehicle.
Yeah, but
Then it's going to be 50-50. Then it's going to be 50-50. They're going to shine their lights in the car, and if they see anything like, let's say they see, oh, they can get you for anything. Let's say they see a glass cup. They can say that that is for methamphetamine because you can make meth with glassware. And so that's probable cause to search your car right there. No, it's anywhere in 50 states, especially in like, well, some states like they'll claim anything from that. You're thinking, hey, there in the United States or perhaps wherever, if I don't have drugs and I'm not drinking and I'm parked in a safe location, then they're not going to bother me. And that's not true. They will bother you. What they will do, especially if it's like run by a town, they will, like a lot of people like to park in Walmart, go from Walmart to Walmart, or like gyms. Okay, all it takes is one cop who's just bored to just go walk through the parking lot and shine his light through. And if he sees you in there, he's going to knock on your window and say, "Is everything okay in here?" And you're going to be like, "Yeah, I'm just sleeping." And he's going to say, "All right, well, if you smell like BO or something like that, that can be probable cause for marijuana." You can be like, "Look, I don't smoke marijuana. It's nothing. Get out of the car." And if you say no, he's going to break down your window and he's going to pull you out and he's going to arrest you. I mean, I'm sure you've seen those videos as well. People just minding their own business and they get told that if you don't get out of the car, we will break the window and pull you out.
Yeah, and how do you feel about
Absolutely not. I think all cops are bad. Once you wear the badge, you're an enemy, in my opinion. And the reason why is because then you're working against the people. And in the current state of,
so you think that is racist and murderers should roam free but not
no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying in the
everyone
Riser, do you want to tell me how it is? I'm telling you, you tell me. Go ahead.
I'm just I mean, I'm not trying to insert words.
You just did. You just said you think rapists and murderers should run around. No, but there's something in the United States known as qualified immunity, which means basically a cop can go and break your window and pull you out of your car, and they don't have to pay for the window. They can beat you up, and they don't. They that's not assault and battery. So the way that the current system is set up, all cops are bad. If you change the system and you don't give them qualified immunity, and if they break your window, they have to pay for it, okay, well, then I can get on board with the police again. But not with qualified immunity. All cops are bad.
Not just like the law itself. Not every cop is use that power.
The fact that they all stand up for each other. I mean, you see that essentially they lie for each other under oath. They shut off their body cameras. Like, if you really, I think police could be good. And I think there have been good police in the past, but the far majority of them, at least in the United States, um, well, let me say this in the United States, if you're too smart to be, if you do too well on an IQ test, you cannot be a police officer in many jurisdictions. So already they're dumb, and you're not getting, and to me, that's a bad system that like the best and brightest people can't become a cop.
And also they look more like those people have.
That's true too. And there's something like 40% are domestic abusers or have households that are domestic abusers. And that's what's reported. So it could be even higher than that. So all cops, when I see a police officer, I used to when I was a kid wave at them. And it was a different world. But since qualified immunity, where they can bust down your door, they can shoot your dog, like they can shoot your dog and nothing happens. Imagine you're just hanging out with yellow. I mean, it's just they shoot children. I read about it every day. They shoot children, um, and you can't sue them. And I don't think that's right. I think you should be able to sue them. Also, so how would I make it so that all cops aren't bad? they should have to carry their own insurance policy. And what that means is that if they don't do a good job, they won't get insured anymore. What they currently have is a system where their unions are able to negotiate for them. And the union has essentially fought for qualified immunity. And I just don't think that's right. So every police officer, every single one in the United States, in my opinion, is a bad person.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Now, do I think that that can change? Yeah. If you drop qualified immunity, and here's the thing that really bothers me the most in the United States, more than all of that, is in the United States, if you do like in if you're in Irvine and you do something that the police in Irvine don't like as a police officer, you can just go to the next city over in Santa Ana, or you can go work for Orange County, or you can work for Los Angeles. You literally just go from one to another to another. And in my opinion, if you fuck up as a cop one time on the job in your jurisdiction, you shouldn't be able to go to another county, another city, or but as funny as that is, that's exactly what happened. And they do this for 25 years. And the other thing is they make so much money. They make 1.5 times what the average person does in a jurisdiction. So plus overtime and this other stuff. We have cops in there's a cop in Santa Monica who was making $900,000 a year. I mean, it's just ridiculous amounts of money. So overall, I'm with I think his base was his base was something like $250,000, and then he gets overtime, and then there's also like they can work on the side as security, which I don't think is right. And so once you add all that up, it's $900,000. And on top of that,
There'd be like a bonus for like every time.
no, there's nothing like that. But it's a rigged system because someone who has a high IQ can't get that job. Why is it that we don't want the best and brightest people joining the ranks of the?
They're truly high IQ get fail the IQ test or get the score needed.
Yeah, exactly. They would, but that's not how the system's supposed to work.
Well, they can't be that high IQ
Or they're just dumb people.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying like for like the high IQ top that wants to be top.
I see. Exactly. Just one moment. I'm just adjusting. Exactly right. And yeah, the police system in the United States is so bonkers that it's like basically like how would I let me think of it with another
Like the mafia basically.
yeah, exactly it is. It's the mafia uh behind the badge. And
what interest do they have in serving?
business owners,
The who?
business owners,
The owners?
no, business owners.
Oh, business.
Yeah, so at least in the United States, like in a small town, generally they're gonna pick on the little guy. But if they have anything, if they start pissing off a business owner will say, "I'm gonna leave this little town and I'm gonna move out of state." And then the city starts saying, "Hey, don't mess with that person anymore. We need their tax revenue." I mean, there's a lot of things that just in general police do that I don't think should be legal and I think is wrong. Like the fact that they just sit in their car and with a speedometer or like a radar detector and set up people. And I just don't think that's right. If anything, in my opinion, you should be out patrolling. You shouldn't find a nice little cozy spot behind a tree or behind a building and then try to find speeders. In my opinion, that's somewhat entrapment, even though it's been argued that it's not. Why can't you just do your normal job on patrol? No, instead they're going to hide, and I think it's cowardly. And there are enough.
They don't think they're, so I don't think that accountable.
I okay, you jump to conclusions. And that's not what I said. I said that the officer should be in the should be on patrol. So that means they're driving around. They're not just sitting in one spot waiting for speeders in where everything benefits them. Meaning they know where everybody drives really quickly. Maybe they have to drive quickly because they've got to get up to speed, or because they've just had a bunch of really curvy things, or they're going downhill. Downhill's a really good way for people to get nailed. And so that's a lot of cops do, because it's an easy way to get tickets. I don't feel that that should be a legal practice. You should have to be driving around. And you should, if you find someone out of nowhere and you think that they're speeding, fine. But there's a big difference between driving around and looking to make sure that people are abiding by the law and picking off people. Like, I've never gotten a speeding ticket, fortunately.
Undercover cop cars.
Yes, 100%. 100%. 100%. Absolutely. And here's why. Because that is a slippery slope when these people are then, like, they're doing drug deals. They're trying to infiltrate people. Look, I can tell you this story. I think it happened in the state of Florida. I'm not exactly sure. But there was a woman, I just read about this. She was caught smoking pot. Shut the fuck up. Let me just tell the story. There's a woman who was smoking pot, and she got caught. The police said, look, we'll let you go on the condition that you work as an informant for us. She said, well, it's either go to jail or work as an informant. Okay, fine. So this was her first offense. So they have her work as an informant with the drug dealer. The drug dealer finds out, like, just notices that she's really nervous, and they find out she's wearing a wire, and they killed her. That kind of behavior on behalf of the police is just like what you were saying, just like the mafia. And I don't like it. It is. It is. It is. Now, there are other situations, I think you were alluding to one of them, where they have a police officer who, like, dressing up like a prostitute or something like that. In my opinion, that's entrapment. You're looking for trouble. And I just, there's a fine line between serving and protecting the people, which is what you're supposed to do, and bullying.
Also, there's like catfish predators online. That was like a little girl with Facebook messages, and then like arrested them on the spot because allegedly their account sent them.
Yeah, I mean, those kind of situations, while I want to protect children, I feel like the police are too connected in those situations with that group that does those things. Like, basically, I feel like if anybody's going to do that kind of stuff, it should be the police. It shouldn't be a third party company that they're working hand in hand with. I don't think that's right. There's also, it happens in the United States where, like, let's say they catch you speeding, and you want to fight the ticket. So now you have to take off your, let's say you're working, you have to take off work. You have to maybe find a babysitter. You got to get to the courthouse, and then the police officer just doesn't show up. So now you had to waste a whole day of work, a whole day of getting paid. You might have needed that paycheck, and this guy just doesn't want to show up, or this girl just doesn't want to show up because they know they were wrong. That's all garbage.
Doesn't it get thrown out on about
That's fine, but you don't get the. That's fine, but you don't get the money back. You don't get your time back. You don't get the money for the babysitter or what you lost at work. You don't get any of that back. I don't think that's right. If somebody does that, then the police officer should have to pay for that. And it can come out of his insurance, or it could come out of his check, or whatever. But it's just, we should treat these guys like, the reason why they don't is a few reasons. One of which is it goes back to, like, the king. When you go to the king, like, there's a certain statement, like, touching one of the king's guards is the same as touching a king, and they'll beat you up for it. And they've been doing this for a long time. They've been doing it for at least 500 years. I mean, the one that really bothers me more than any of this is the use of police dogs. I don't think that it should be legal to use animals in anything anymore. We don't need to. We have AI and robots and all kinds of other shit. Dogs are just used to essentially like find false positives on people to give them the reason to check their car. Remember I said they'll knock on your window if you're sleeping and you're like, hey, I don't have anything. They'll say, okay, well, you can either do this the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is you just come out of the car. The hard way is I'm going to get a dog, and the dog is going to smell that you've got something in here, and we're going to get in this car one way or another.
I'd be like, okay, the hard way because.
Wait, and they do. Wait, and they do. But then they arrest you.
What do they arrest?
They can do. They can. They can do it. They can. Right. They can say that you are. Usually, what they say is that you are infringing on an investigation, and
So you're welcome to bring the dog.
That's fine. Get out of the car. We're gonna put you in handcuffs. You're gonna sit in the back of the car, back of the squad car until this dog's there, and the dog's gonna hit on something because all we have to do is move our knee in a certain way or snap and then we're gonna search your whole car. We're gonna take everything out of your Sprinter van. We're gonna throw it all over the ground. It could be raining. It could ruin your shit. We don't care. We're gonna just be punks. And I'll tell you this: I used to want to be a police officer when I was a little kid, just like a lot of people, or a fireman. But I'll quote I've heard this from quite a few different rappers. You've never heard a song called "Fuck the Fire Department." Why? Because they help people. But you hear "Fuck the Police" because the police, at least in the United States, have become a mafia, and they weren't always this way, but it's become a mafia. And if you don't know, the origin of the canine is from slave finding slaves, and they just kept going with them. So basically, if you were a runaway slave, they would find something that you owned. The dog would get a sniff on it, and they'd use bloodhounds to find you. And they would go from the deep south to the north to find people, and they were very successful at doing it. And then once slavery ended, they still had all these dogs, and they continued to use them to find narcotics and to find alcohol and all kinds of other things. And now they have dogs they say that can find hard drives, and dogs that they say that can find narcotics. They can find uh they can find arson ingredients like things that start fires and things. And I'm saying to myself, you don't know that for a fact. I mean, I want to see the testing of the dog. Like, how do I know that they're not giving a false positive? There are all kinds of things. I want to get dogs out of being used in any way, or all animals. I don't think we need animals anymore. But so, and then on top of that, they can just sick the dog on you, and it can tear your arm open or tear your child's arm open. And they just say, well, we were doing it to protect ourselves. All this, as you can tell, I don't like this subject specifically because I don't like police officers. I fortunately have had generally good interactions with them, but I've seen too many bad interactions online that caused me to not want to like them.
I mean, no one posts a good interaction. So.
They do. No. They absolutely do. It's called propaganda. It's where they do all their shit, where they're buying ice cream cones for kids. Here's one that I can't stand. They used to do this. I think they still do it. I don't know where, but they had this program in a bunch of cities where they would just pull people over for doing the right thing. So they'd be like, "Hey, we're pulling you over. We just want to let you know that we're pulling you over because you were going the speed limit, and we appreciate it. And we're going to give your kids ice cream cones." And then they give them ice cream cones. When in reality, they were just using that as a reason to stop and search people. No. And that's the sad part. You can't sue the local government because of qualified immunity. Now, if you dropped qualified immunity and you had to make it that these cops had to be on camera all the time, and that they had to show up to court and they didn't have dogs anymore, then I would be an advocate for the police. But instead, no. I think that they're all bad and they back up everybody and they all know that this is happening. So anyone who joins the police, in my opinion, is a bad person. Man, woman, everything. Anyone who supports the system, especially in the way that it discriminates against people, anyone who supports the system, in my opinion, is a bad person. And keep in mind, I'm not someone who's had overtly bad interactions with police. Can you imagine if I had? And, you know, where let's just say I was a different color and I had been pulled over 55 times and were like 25 times in a year or something like that. And that interferes with your ability to travel. And there's also like um, there are higher demographics of like on the 5 freeway, which is in LA, um, of this one strip of the 5 coming from like the north. There's a much higher rate of like Hispanic people who drive this road because it's coming from like some of the agriculture areas, and thus people of Hispanic heritage were getting pulled over far higher rates than people in Beverly Hills and Santa Monica and all these other nice places. And I just don't think it's right. I don't think that you should at any time you should never need to shut off your camera. I mean, I don't shut off my cameras, and I don't think that they should either. I think they should be on camera all the time. I think that every cell in the United States needs a camera in it. I think that I think cameras should be everywhere, really, and I know that they will be.
Here's a story that actually happened. So, um, when I was like, and so we were spray painting downtown Oakville night, and vandals. But I guess I don't know. Someone spotted us maybe, or cop rolling by or something. It was 3 in the morning, and it's not like it's running where 3 in the morning they still like there's like no this town no one's out on like Tuesday at like 3 in the morning.
Right, it was very
So
suspicious.
they my friend who was like drunk was taking like a piss on like the side of a building, even though we should have. I didn't know that, but there was like a ladder on the like behind the building that was let on, so like the roof greatest thing, hitting the final spot or whatever. But that didn't happen. He was taking a piss on the side of the building, and so I see the cops roll around, and it's like me, my piss thing on the building guy, and one other dude. Cop obviously stops, and I just like take off running, and we're going in a little bit. I throw my paint behind this like thing, and I start getting away from the scene, and arresting my friend and calling for backup, and I hear dogs. I get away, and I go down to like the water and obscure a bunch of people's backyard, and then turn onto my street to go back to my house. And there's a cop outside of my house. I'm like instantly like fuck off. So guess that my stupid friend ratted on me. And so I should have just stayed out the whole night and then not come back home and be like, hey, I wasn't there. I was just literally with fucking girl or whatever. I wasn't there. But I mistakenly back in and my parents waiting for me and they're like stuff and I was like they drove me to the police station. the morning. I haven't slept. Tired. They fucking put me in a jail cell. I'm trying to fall asleep and shit, and then two cops come in, and they literally play like the good cop, bad cop shit. And I'm in my cell. I'm like fucking really tired. I was going and one guy's like, "Oh, great! Like, wow, dude, not shit like the other shit." And then I like admitted guilt, taking like dumb person, and I did like the whole good cop, bad cop thing on me. Unfortunately, it worked because I was like fucking deprived of sleep, and they wouldn't let me fucking my fucking self. So,
There you go. There you go. So you have firsthand knowledge. So you should be the one who hates it more than I do.
oh yeah, no, I'm not. I think that there needs to be a level of security and society. But
I didn't say that. I did not say that at all. When I like when I say I think they're all bad,
that's what police represent, whether or not that in their current state they're feeling that goal is like safe.
at least in the United States, at least in the United States, they're mafia, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. One time.
Word, dog.
I guys drag yellow up.
Excellent. Make sure to protect them in case you see any cherries and berries.
What time did you fall asleep at? Were you still? Because I think I joined it at 9 p.m. in here.
Probably about 9 to like 1 in the morning. I've been trying like before. I'd say like last week, all my hours were shifted. So I was up just during the night and then the day. So I've been trying to reverse cycle or whatever. And so little by little, I go to bed. I think a little later, but yeah, I would say generally, like at least recently, I've just been sleeping whenever I feel like it. And I mean, I get all kinds of weird shit that happens in the middle of the night. People come in playing chainsaws, and if I forget to turn down the music or to turn down the sound, I all I'm gonna get is that kind of bullshit all night. I don't want that. I get people who are playing who like get enjoyment out of keeping me awake. So when that happens, like this morning, somebody did it. It was like 4 in the morning, so I was already up. I had just awakened, but somebody just came in, like some little kid came in here and just started screaming. Like, all right, well, you now have to be banned, so I have to get my phone and ban them, and then I've got to make sure to turn on the sound. So I deal with more variables, I would say, when sleeping than just about anybody else. Too. So it's more difficult, I would say, to have a normal sleep schedule.
You can just turn the sound down now.
Yeah, but I sometimes forget, or I won't think that I'm going to be sleeping all night. I'll just like, oh, I'll take like a little nap, and just if somebody comes in, I'll be able to hear them that way. Then I'll actually end up falling asleep the whole time, and um, yeah, it's just that kind of stuff. But I mean, I I don't need to keep a schedule, so I sleep whenever I feel like it. What'd you do with Zoo?
Yeah, it's too long to play.
What'd you do with
Let's
him?
play the regular whole.
They're back, man. I'm in I'm in these subreddits that are these police subreddits, and so I mean I see every single day what they do, how bad they are, and I wish I could tell you I loved them, but I don't think that I once did, but they have changed in the United States, and I don't think they're good. The reason why I say that is I was just scrolling through Reddit, and I just see it's like police video after police video of these guys like shooting a child in the head, shooting another child in the head, and they were at the person's house earlier that day. They shot another guy in Las Vegas. The guy in Las Vegas called them. This was so. It's not funny, but just one moment. Um. Okay. So it's like a Dave Chappelle skit. Okay. Like. Let's see if I can. Okay. Though. Well. Okay. So Dave Chappelle. I can't find it right now, but he's got a skit that's really funny where he's like, let me find it. I'm not gonna do it justice. No pun intended. It's very funny. It's from his, I think, Killing Me Softly, which is like 20 years old. Come on, you fucking phone. Welcome, KK. Hope you're doing well. Dave Chappelle. Here it is. Wait, no, this one's different. It's black people versus white people, how they react. But I think he said open and shut case. That word. Actually, the thing that is really funny, it's when he puts picture frame all over the house. Let's see. Imitating. Yeah, here it is. I think. Okay. Can you hear me? Oh, fuck you, man. Not you. Anyway, Dave Chappelle has a skit where basically he's like, I mean, the words that he uses are the police come in like a the black person's house. The black person owns the house, yet they accuse the black person of breaking in and putting pictures of his family all over the house, and they're like, it's an open and shut case. Great job. He says something like, he imitates. Okay, he's just shot a black man. I've seen this one before when I was a rookie. That N-word broke in here and hung pictures of himself all over the family, all over, hung pictures of himself and his family all over the walls. Now sprinkle some crack on him and get out of here. I mean, that's what fucking happens. It's really sad, and it does. I mean, it does. That shit happens where they just have drugs that they plant on people. We didn't even get into that. Yeah, I was once a very, very big advocate of the police, majorly. Like I thought they were heroes. Not anymore. All cops are bad. At least in the United States, the way that they treat people, all of them. Because even the good ones are backing the bad ones.
Hi, my friend. Will be
Excellent. Excellent. We look forward to seeing you soon. And we're gonna watch Kill Tony tonight if you want to watch that. I know you only like William Montgomery, and I get that, but I mean you can at least watch him.
yeah, I know. I am a William. I don't know. Whenever I don't know. It's like, did you start watching it because I recommended it?
I think so. I think somebody you had something to do with it, a major part in it. I'm gonna think exactly how it happened. Um, but it was on for like years, and I had only heard of it, but I didn't know it was like a podcast, and I didn't know it was like a best minute or whatever. And then you said we were talking about comedians one day, and you're like, "Oh, my favorite comedian is William Montgomery." And it'd be funny. And then I started to get into it like this summer. They just have a lot of content. Anything that has a lot of content, I'm a fan of because I can just put it on and play it all the time. Oh, dude, I forgot to tell you. I got banned. Can you hear me? I got banned on TikTok today. Not bully or anything, but guess of all the reasons why. Take a guess why I got banned on TikTok. No. Take another guess.
Having
No. Hopefully they let me go with a warning for that. No. Being underage. They said that I wasn't 13 years old. Like, what in the fuck? I mean, I have a fucking beard. Isn't that hilarious?
I think someone targeted.
Well, it can happen. That can happen, but they only banned me for an hour. It's like, oh, like I'm gonna be